Welcome to the Q4 release webinar. Let's dive right in. I'm going to be talking about, as mentioned, Angular and jQuery. Kathryn will cover the end half with React Design and Vue. And we're actually going to kick things off since there's something that covers many of our products with a new section called AI Assistants. And it covers not only our new AI assistants for some products, but also our Agentic UI generators for others. The AI assistants and the Agentic UI generator, it's kind of hard whenever you're looking at all of the newness that we have to differentiate between the two. So I made this quick slide to kind of encapsulate the two different groups of products here. So we have the AI assistants, and you can see for a ton of different flavors, including Blazor, React, Angular, and jQuery. And that's for more piecing out your application. So like I want to build out this component, or I want to build out this grid and use a like MCP server that has the Telerik documentation knowledge and APIs and all of that goodness behind it to help me build that out. Whereas the UI generators are using even further that knowledge to build out entire layouts and do styling and routing and layout and all of the components all together. So really, really cool stuff. Definitely go check it out if it happens to be available in one of your flavors. But I think we have a little poll.
We want to know, what type of search and prompting behavior do your users need that a smart prompting and search component could support? I believe you can see here, combination semantic keyword in the lead, followed by inline.
So let's talk about Angular, Kendo UI for Angular, as well as the framework itself. So a couple weeks ago, I think it might have been 2 weeks ago, Angular version 21 released with so many goodies, including but not limited to Angular Aria, which are these new primitives, these like very accessible directives that are styleless and you can pull them in as you need. Experimental signal forms, which I've actually talked to quite a few people who are already using them in production. So I think people are they're really ready for a new wave of reactivity and a way of doing forms in Angular. The official Angular MCP server, we're not the only ones coming out with MCP servers these days, that includes an Angular tutor that I've yet to get to use, but I'm really excited to try out because there's so much newness and there's constantly newness in our framework. And so very excited for that feature. I think it's using AI for what it's best at, teaching and assisting. Angie was the final vote from the community and the Angular team as the official mascot. If you don't remember which one that is, it's the little shield guy, chibi person, and he's really cute. And performance and rendering improvements, as well as tooling updates. But not only do I have a blog post about that, the last 3 Angular Air episodes that I did were all different deep dives into the biggest features in Angular version 21, from the new Signal Forms API to advanced reactivity, to the advanced reactivity primitives powering it. We even had Wagner from the Angular team at Google walk through Angular Aria. He was a very big proponent behind that feature this release. And so check out those episodes if you want fun recaps. Let's dive in. I know we talked about this. As I mentioned in the last section, we introduced the Agentic UI Generator for Angular, but I wanted to just do a little recap of what that means. So you can describe the page that you want, and it builds real Angular components using your design system and Kendo UI. It runs as an MCP server in your IDE, whatever flavor that is, and lets you create and update pages, themes, and layouts with simple prompts. So it's very, very exciting and honestly been really fun to use and to work with. So this little GIF of like typing through using the generator, very similar to the assistant, right? Because you're calling the MCP server inside of Copilot, inside your code. But it's very cool because it actually shows you like what was sent, like the input and then the output that it's receiving. And then every step of the way asks you for permission to keep different pieces of layout or different, like anything that it's touching. It's asking you, do you want to keep this? And you approve the process as you move forward. So it's really cool stuff. Check it out. Also, in the realm of AI helpers, last quarter, we improved the AI coding assistant for Angular. You can use it in Copilot or any MCP-enabled IDE. and get ready to run Angular snippets with full Kendo UI context, which is just beautiful. That knowledge of our documentation, our APIs, the proper way and the latest way is so handy. Just prompt with Kendo Angular and ask for a grid, a combo box, a tree view, whatever you need, and refine from there. This release brings big updates to the Angular chat component, richer message rendering, suggested replies, quick actions, and more flexible templates and toolbars. It makes it much easier to ship polished, brand conversational experiences and AI assistants that directly are in Angular. We also added built-in tooltips to the Angular diagram, which, spoiler alert, last quarter, if you weren't here for that release, we don't do webinars, but we do marketing releases. We now have a diagram component. I'll cover that in a minute. But we've added to that this quarter, shapes and connections can now reveal key details on hover, and you can style or template them however you like. So I'm going to actually scroll down real quick because I want to cover. I'm so excited for this one. I went a little crazy on the screenshots on the next slide. So yes, as mentioned, we did ship the new Angular diagram component. So it makes it easy to build interactive flowcharts, org charts, or mind maps using a native Angular API. And you define your shape and your connections. You choose an automatic layout or optionally bind everything to live data, and it supports create, edit, selection of events, and you can export diagrams to PDF, SVG, or PNG. And then on this next one, just showing the variants of layouts, shapes, connections, and even tooltips now. So many ways. Yeah, it's like a lot. Do you guys have it yet? I was so excited.
Not yet. It must be coming in like probably the next release for us.
Okay. I was like, I did a lot of screenshots, but they're so cool. Please go check out the docs if you haven't yet. I'm going to scroll back up. We're going to cover, I did newest stuff and then earliest stuff, but I'm realizing that doesn't necessarily make sense. So let's go back to the diagram. So yes, now we do have tooltips, as mentioned. A small addition to the diagram component that we got last quarter, but easier to use and really, I don't know, just slick. I like this one. It's very cool. So it's not under any group of components, or like mama component, as I sometimes call it. It's just underneath diagrams in our component tree. So check it out. Our PDF viewer, so we now have form filling options. So you can complete the PDF forms directly inside your app. You no longer have to like download or context switch in order to do that, which is really, really cool. This is underneath PDF viewer, that component inside form filling in the docs. So check it out, very cool stuff. We also introduced the AI toolbar assistant for the Angular grid. Users can type natural prompts to sort, filter, group, manage columns, and even export. And basically, you just talk to the data instead of digging through menus. It's actually really super slick. I was playing around with it to have it, or even to like find things for me or sort things for me, and it was really cool. So check it out. The toolbar assistant with AI, I think, is a really smart way to use AI in our grid. You can plug in your own domain-aware AI service and fully customize the prompt window, suggestions, and behavior. This release improves selection in the Angular list box. Single and multi-select feels smoother and more predictable, and you can customize how clicks and keyboard navigation work so the component fits your app flow. Check that out underneath list box, titled selection. Last quarter, we introduced the inline AI prompt component for Angular. It gives you a small pop-up right inside your content so users can ask questions or apply AI suggestions without losing their place. You can customize the layout with templates, stream responses in real time, and even trigger the prompt programmatically using the inline AI prompt service. So check it out, very cool stuff. Last quarter, we also shipped, as mentioned, the Angular diagram component. We're going to skim by that because we already talked about her. But that's not all. We also got a new button component. We added the speech to text button for Angular. It gives you voice input out of the box using the browser's web speech API, and you can switch to Azure, Google, or AWS if you need more advanced scenarios. You can fine tune how recognition behaves, responds to events like start or give a result, and everything is accessible and styled consistently with the rest of Kendo UI. Really cool button, honestly something I use all the time. If an application has speech to text and then text to speech, I don't know why, it's something about how my brain processes, but I'm using it all the time over applications that don't offer that. So really excited for this upgrade to our library. Whoa. Last quarter, we added streaming to the Angular AI prompt. It lets users see responses as they're being generated, which feels faster and more conversational. This GIF kind of shows a demo streaming response as it would come in and display. You can check that out in the docs, play around with it. It's really cool stuff. You control the start and stop through the prompt request events and bind prompt outputs so the output view updates in real time, as you see there. Works really well for longer answers or chat style experiences. I really like it, honestly. I think it's really cool. Last quarter, we also introduced smart grid features for Angular. The AI toolbar assistant lets you drive sorting, filtering, grouping with natural prompt languages. The AI column assistant gives you row-level analysis by opening an inline AI prompt for a single record, where you can plug in actions like a copy or insert. And so both of these features that we've touched on tie AI, your own AI input that you specify through request options and events. So as you can see, we are just keeping up with the AI flood, and anywhere that it makes sense, because I've seen some silly applications before, but anywhere that it makes sense, we're trying to be responsible about helping your users through AI usage. And lastly, for this review today for the Kendo UI for Angular Suite, we added the stacked layout mode to the Angular grid. It turns each row into a clean card style layout. It's much easier to use on smaller screens. You can configure how the stacked view behaves, including how many columns show using the data layout mode setting. And the best part, everything still works. Paging, selection, export, all the editing modes, and the toolbar tools for sorting, filtering, and grouping. Check it out. Grid got a little update, but I think we have a last Angular poll.
How are you adopting zoneless change detection in Angular? I will say, looking at the results here, I think folks are maybe not making the jump yet. We're at 76% not using it. 13% are playing with it in small features. 4% have started building it into their new features. 7% are starting to migrate. And nobody is fully migrated at this point.
Next up is jQuery.
Exciting.
It's the wave for jQuery. All right, let's see. So the coding assistant, I have to be very careful with my words because the UI generator is only available for a small amount of flavors. The coding assistant is more broadly available. So we also introduced the coding assistant for jQuery that gives you all of that goodness, but with Kendo UI for jQuery context. So check it out if you're a jQuery user. Yes, so we have also created a new place where all the AI features for Kendo UI for jQuery live. It brings together AI prompts, inline prompts, AI grid features, AI chat, editor AI, and so on, so that you can explore everything in one spot in our docs. And so demos.telerik.com/KendoUI, and then you can see AI components here. Really cool stuff. Check it out. I love to see honestly, I've been really surprised and pleasantly surprised with our documentation and the leaps that it's taking. So we have also added the AI toolbar assistant for the jQuery grid. Users can type prompts to sort, filter, group, highlight rows, and the toolbar applies those operations instantly. Uses the AI prompt and connects to your own AI endpoint, similar to the Angular one, so you keep control over how it works. Last quarter, we introduced the smart grid for jQuery. Users can sort, filter, group, highlight rows, do all of the natural language prompts through the AI assistant toolbar. But you can also add custom AI column actions and connect your own endpoints through the Grid AI config. Again, this is going to be underneath, inside the docs, underneath Grid, inside of the Smart Grid section where you can find the AI toolbar. The speech to text button has also landed for jQuery. This feature lets you add voice input anywhere in your jQuery application. You can configure language and recognition behavior and choose between the browser engine and your own speech service for dictation. Really cool stuff. Very excited for this component. The inline AI prompt for jQuery, this adds inline AI actions inside your text inputs and your editors. Users can select content and apply AI commands in place, and you can fully control behavior with system prompts and custom commands, and even speech to text if you like. AI prompt output actions for jQuery. This update lets you turn AI responses into actual actions your users can take right away. You can use built-in actions like copying or retrying an output, or define your own with custom icons and styles. The output action event gives you everything you need, the text, the ID, and the prompt. So you can plug in behaviors like export or share pretty easily. Diagram workflow for jQuery, so got a diagram too. This update makes it easy to map out step-by-step processes with a jQuery diagram. You get full workflow-ready shapes and connectors, automatic layouts to help everything stay clean, and the option to bind to data or let users drag and connect nodes themselves. A straightforward way to build process flows without a lot of custom setup. Very excited for this. Landed in jQuery. Responsive forms for jQuery. This update brings responsive capabilities to jQuery form component. The layout adapts at runtime so fields reflow cleanly, labels stay aligned, and validation remains accessible across your different screen sizes. You can control wrapping with a 12-column grid and per field call span setting, giving you a lot of flexibility, honestly, for mobile-ready forms. So check it out. Before I sign off and hand the mic to Kathryn, I had a couple of housekeeping announcements. One is our Discord, which some of you yesterday were at the Telerik UI webinar. Good to see you again. This is the link that you can use to jump on over to our Discord. Kathryn and I in there, as well as many members from our team. So we love to chat with you. You can conversate, because that's a normal thing people say, about our tooling, but also just about anything, any dev thing, or we honestly have a general chat where lots of magic happens. So reach out to us. This is the Discord link going in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Last thing I have to announce, we have an early access program for the AI Observability platform. This is a lot of words to basically say, hey, are you building agents or working with agents in production? We have a new tool for observing those agents' behaviors and like essentially giving you analytics on them and helping you improve the performance and the usage of agents in your applications. We have this early access program at telerik.com/agent observability early access. Check it out. But you can sign up essentially to have early access to this and then also give us feedback. We're giving away $150 gift cards per feedback session that we do with you, where you just tell us how well it's working for you. So if it's something you're interested in, something that applies to you, we would love to have you in the early access program and pay you for your feedback as well.
We will kick things off by taking a look at what is new in the world of design. For those of you that are working with a UX or UI designer or anybody in Figma, I just want to highlight this actually happened a little while ago, but it wasn't covered in our last release, so I'm rounding it up to make sure it gets its time in the sun. We updated our Figma kits, and they have a lovely new look and layout. I think they're a lot more kind of easy to skim and to find what you're looking for. So if you haven't taken a look recently, go take a peek. 3.3 includes some new components. It includes enhanced ocean blue swatch, which is our accessibility swatch, and more of our icons. So as a reminder, you can get our Figma kits in kind of those 4 flavors: our default design system, Bootstrap, Material, and MS Fluent. We offer all of those themes. And then, of course, you can import those into Figma and use them like add them as a component library and pull them over into your projects for really quick and easy prototyping mockups. Once you kind of make the changes within the Figma kits, then you've got it styled the way that you want. And of course, you can also export anything from those Figma kits or any of your Figma files into ThemeBuilder, which is a huge perk. So give them a look. And as always, our Figma kits are free. So if you're just dabbling or you're doing a 30-day trial, or maybe you're a KendoReact free user, make sure to pick these up. ThemeBuilder also got some new AI-ified perks. One of the biggest ones is the conversational prompting for our AI theme generator. If you played with the theme generator before, it's a great way to kind of give a natural language prompt about what you want the components to look like. So you could say, I want a dark mode with lots of blues and greens, or I want something that feels festive for the holidays, or I want something that's light and bright and fun. And it does a great job interpreting all of those into an actual, UI design to edit all the components. Now we've kind of upped the level on that so that you can have more of a conversation rather than starting over every time. So if you see something and it's like 95% correct, and you just want to be like, that looks really good, but actually I'd like the buttons to be blue, you can now do that, and it'll kind of iterate with you a little bit more naturally. It's a great way to kind of adjust individual component styles without having to kind of hit the reset button every time you want to make an adjustment. And of course, you can still go in and manually make edits as much as you would like. So give it a shot if you have not yet. Try it out in the ThemeBuilder. I think you can do a 7-day free trial to get the ThemeBuilder level that will let you play with the AI theme generator, and it is worth it because there are a lot of variables in there. And so if you can prompt it and have something to jump off, if you're not pulling in from Figma, this is a really great way to get a project going super fast. We have also added a new typography module to ThemeBuilder. So this is going to give you a kind of centralized control for all your typography settings. It's nice it works the same way as the kind of colors and spacing modules, so it's following the same patterns that you're used to, but this one will help you manage your font families, your sizes, your weights, your letter spacing, all the stuff that you need to really like dig deep into the typographic design. And of course, plays nicely with the AI theme generator if you're using that. And you asked, we answered, we know you wanted it, dark mode in ThemeBuilder. At the very least, I wanted it. So I imagine you guys did too. You can now use ThemeBuilder in dark mode. This is not, of course, just, you've always been able to make dark mode themes in ThemeBuilder. This is talking about the user interface of the ThemeBuilder application itself. I know. We gotta be very specific. You have always been able to make dark themes. Now you can make dark themes in dark theme. So enjoy. For those of you burning the midnight oil. Now, as always, if you want a sneak peek about what is coming next year, you can check out the roadmap. I've linked the QR code here. Highly encourage you to take a peek, and then we have a slide at the end where you can offer some feedback on that. If there's things that you would really like to see, like dark mode, we know a lot of you requested that. You can give us some feedback. We do genuinely always love to hear what you're working on and what we can do to make your life a little easier. And speaking of telling us things that we're deeply interested in, have you taken our State of Designer Developer Collaboration survey yet? Because it is not too late if you have not. If you are a designer, if you are a developer, if you are PM, UX, UI, front-end engineer, across the spectrum, we want to hear from you. These are questions about how you coordinate with the design team, how you're using AI in a design scope, how you're handling handoff, whether you're using a design system, all these kinds of things that we are super curious about. This helps us figure out what we want to do next, like the kind of things that we can create that will be most useful to you. And also, it's just really cool data, and we'll share the report with you when it's done. So if you, like me, are a big data nerd, we would love for you to fill out the survey.
You just call yourself a big data nerd. I love you so much.
I love to see I mean, come on. That's the best part of UX. It's just like, what are you doing over there? How you doing that? I'm just nosy. So help me indulge my nosy proclivities and tell me about what you're doing with the design developer handoff. Now, we already saw the preview for the Agentic UI Generator, and we are getting it in KendoReact as well. Cheers, applause, much rejoicing. It is genuinely super cool to just be able to give a description of the page you want and see that built out in KendoReact components. I don't want to dive into this too deep because I know you guys have already seen the video. I have, I believe, exactly the same GIF that Alyssa showed. But it's super cool. So if you're looking for something that is a little more hands-off, I guess, than the AI assistant, this is a great place to start. I think of it a lot like I do with the AI theme generator in ThemeBuilder, that it's just a jumping off point for me. So I love to give it a prompt and see what it comes up with and then start getting in there. It helps to eliminate that kind of like blank page syndrome when you start something new and everything just feels like, ugh. And it's nice to not have to worry about the scaffolding, maybe the right word. And if you would like some examples of kind of how we are using all of these kind of AI things, what's available to you, all the tools that you can pick and choose from, and all the different ways that you can kind of fine tune the level of AI that you're looking for, I highly suggest checking out the Demo Hub. That's going to give you an overview of not just kind of the developer tools that we've talked about here, but also some of the features that are in the components, like our AI chat or the AI-powered data grid. So if you're looking for kind of an overview on what you can do, what you can enable your users to do, everything in between, how you can kind of start dipping your toes into the AI space with KendoReact projects, check out the hub. We also received the new AI inline prompt, which brings AI assistance directly into your app workflow. So now your users can compose their prompts and get the responses and kind of have that conversational back and forth within your application. All of that kind of, again, I'm trying not to like reiterate all the things that I know Alyssa already said, because this component is pretty much the same across React and Angular. But yeah, integration with OpenAI or Azure, build AI enabled applications faster, easier, and match it with your KendoReact design system, which I think is really the biggest, nicest perk. Every time we add a new component, that's a component you don't have to build yourself and then try to match. So 10 out of 10 there. We also got the speech to text button, which again, fantastic from an accessibility standpoint, especially, and if you're building those kinds of voice enabled apps, must have. We also updated our AI coding assistant. So similarly, just a little bit smarter, a little bit more fine-tuned, giving you a little bit more accurate code. We're just going to keep improving this. I would be surprised if this slide is not in every release for the next like couple years, honestly. Is like, guess what? We made it better. We got more data. We fine-tuned things. We added support for new components. We are just
No, man, we're gonna reach a point where it's at peak. You know, we've reached the mountaintop.
I don't know, because we keep adding new components. We keep building new things. So as the library expands, as the styling expands, all of that gets built back into the AI coding assistant to make it faster, better, smarter, more accurate. So just know we're always working on it. We also got the prompt control data grid. I don't like to play favorites. I love all my children, but I love this one the most, I think, because this one I think just makes the most sense from a usability standpoint for your end users. I really love what it enables. I think it's a really smart, practical, responsible use of AI that will pay dividends right away. So the ability to take a huge amount of data that you probably already had. You may already even have this in a grid somewhere in your application, and just offer your users a new, more natural, more user-friendly way to interact with that data. I love the kind of smart filtering. I love the highlighting that you can be like, show me all the things that match this criteria. I love not having to mess with the competing filters and sorting to just be able to give it a natural language prompt and let it give you the content. This to me is like peak how we should be using AI to benefit our users, and I love it. So not to geek out again, but yeah, again, we're doing cool stuff. It feels hard to say this is my favorite, but also I think this is my favorite. We're also adding some updates to chat. So more customization options, more interactions, more flexible message rendering, more ways for you to just customize, tweak, and update the way that chat looks. So whether you are using that for like real person-to-person chat, if you're using that with chatbots or AI agents or assistants, all of that filter in through the chat, and there's just more and better ways to improve this component now. So enjoy. We also updated the AI prompt. So this one a little bit different, a little bit separate from the inline AI prompt, but a similar general usage for letting your users prompt AI, lost the word, engines. Let your users talk to AIs and LLMs, get answers back. Yeah, again, we're just here to make it easier for you to integrate AI into your apps, no matter what flavor you're using. So the more kind of UI tools that we can give you so that you don't have to worry about the user interaction part of that, and you can really focus on the data and the accuracy and improving your app with AI with minimal lift, that's what we're here for. And as always, I always direct people to the roadmap because I feel like we always get questions. What's next? What are you working on? What are you doing? So if you are curious about what we're doing with React in 2026, you should check out the roadmap. And I know we're trying to rush through a little bit on time, but we're on the last one. We're on Vue. So let's go. And to be honest, Vue got a lot of similar stuff. Like, for example, the speech to text button. At a risk of repeating myself. If you want to improve the accessibility of your apps, if you want to support 100 plus languages that people speak, if you want to, create all sorts of, I think this is great for using with AI stuff as well, right? To prompt it verbally. Again, I'm going to repeat myself. We got the speech to text button in Vue also. Hooray. We also made some big updates to the typing system. And to be clear, that is typing as in TypeScript, not typing as in keyboards. So
that is like so that I was thinking of like fonts. So like there's like so many places you can go with that word.
Yeah. I was like, as I said it, I was like, oh, just to make sure you guys know what I mean. This is about TypeScript. This is about improving callback prop type standardization, making sure the API is matching with the actual TypeScript library typings, fixing mismatches, helping prevent errors. It's just a little upgrade. So if you're using TypeScript, and probably should be, then this is going to make your life a little bit easier when you're working with Kendo UI for Vue. KUI for Vue also got the AI prompt. Again, kind of same situation. If you are looking for an easy way to start building AI prompting into your interfaces, let us worry about the UI part of it, and you just worry about the integration and how it fits into your app part of it. This is a great way to kind of dip your toe in if you're kind of figuring out what AI prompting might look like in your application. And I didn't update the image for this, I'm realizing just now. Sorry. I got authorized at the last minute to give a little bit of a sneak peek, which is that we're working on some big data grid updates for Vue. So we didn't quite have it ready in time for this release, but because I was given the chance, I want to tease some big updates that are coming to the KUI for Vue data grid. We're refactoring, we're working on performance, we've got some new features on the way as well, things like sticky groups and the AI updates and state management improvement. So stay tuned. And as always, if there's something specific that you want, please tell us. We'd love to hear that. One last throw in. If you want the roadmap review, this is where it lives. And I also included a quick join our Discord. It is really fun over there. We just kind of hang out. It's not all product related. We had a thing a week ago or two where we were all sharing pictures of our desks. It's just kind of general chatter. It's a nice place to hang out with other developers and yap while you're working. So, of course, there are channels and places to talk about progress products if you are looking for support, if you have some questions about release or about anything coming, or if you just want a little help connecting with resources, but also if you just want to hang out and have some company. If you work remote and you kind of miss having folks to yap with, we are a great place to come chill. Finally, I've said it before and I'll say it again. We want to hear from you. If you have an opinion, positives, negatives, anywhere in between about what we're working on and what we should build next, please tell us. I've linked here the feedback portals for KUI for Vue, for KendoReact, and for ThemeBuilder. You can scan those QR codes and go to any of them and tell us how you're using the product, what you'd like to see. We really do take these things into account and they do shape our roadmap moving forward. So put something in here and then check the roadmap next release and see where we've added your idea. All right, I believe that's it for me. I tried to speed run it and I think I made it so that we can, as always, reach out to us with questions. We're happy to chat about anything in this release or beyond. So thanks for hanging out with us today, y'all.